All right, class. So here's your quick tutorial video on how to get going in Onshape. So at this point, we're kind of getting going the quiz first. I'm just going to briefly run that through first and then show you how to get going with sketching. So exercise number 1 is kind of where we should be going first. So some of you guys completed it already, but what we're going to first look into the Onshape Learning Center. If you click on that, it should open up in a new tab for you. And all right, it may give you this screen, in which case you just need to hit sign in, which is right there. All right, and then my sign in information right there. Go ahead and sign in. All right, so generally speaking, let's start off with that. There's some videos you can watch on the left-hand side. For the first one, all I'm looking for is this knowledge check. So you hit knowledge check on the left-hand side, start quiz. By the time you finish it, you'll see your score here. Make sure, again, your initials are shown in the bottom left or the left side here. So for me, it's GP. That's the screenshot for number 1. And it'll look like this by the time you submit it. You should hopefully answer all 5 correctly. Okay. From there, evidence number 2, this is your first sketching assignment. Again, if you forgot how to get into Onshape or create an Onshape account, that's that first link. From there, we're going to go to that sketching pathway. Similar to last time, if you click on this, then it takes you to starting a sketch. How do we do all of that? I do recommend take a look at some of the sketch entities, especially the constraints here and dimensioning. It's really, really important that you understand how to use those. So it might be worth your time watching those videos, especially if you haven't done any CAD work before. But from there, exercise today is going to be this basic sketching one. This is the one I'm going to walk you through next. All right, so this is kind of step by step. First off, I'm going to come over here and go to cad.onshape.com. Highly recommend go ahead and bookmark that now. I have mine bookmarked right here. Should open up this page. Unless you haven't logged in, then obviously you need to log in. All right, from there, typically yours might be pretty empty since it may be your first CAD project. But here we're going to come over to create and create a new document. All right, and I'm going to call this basic sketching example. And typically I would also put this in a folder of some sort. It might be worth your time doing some folder organization, file management, but hit open at that point. And oh, sorry. Yeah, where it is here is fine. Great. All right, so this is kind of your starting screen for all of our Onshape documents. And let's come back over here to the example. We're going to eventually make this. Okay, hit next page. So it's telling me create a new document. I did that already. Be sure the workspace is set to millimeters. To check that, it's this 3 bars up here. I'm going to say workspace units. Right now I can see I'm in inches. I want to change that to millimeters. In the future, if you have grams or kilograms, let me double check and see if it says. In this case, actually, it doesn't matter. We're not putting any mass stuff yet. So check mark. Next up, begin sketch on the top plane, orient to view to normal. So I'm going to start a sketch right here, create a new sketch. I choose the top plane right here. I can choose it by clicking here, or I can choose it out of the list on my left-hand side. All right, so for this game, choose top. And to orient so that it looks straight from the top, I can either use my viewing cube over here. Shortcut is also the letter N, So for normal. All right, so now I'm looking at it straight up from the top. And that's a good start. Next slide. I want to create this shape. A couple things I'm going to make note of. Notice I have that origin. That's the double circle, concentric circles right there. So I'm going to make my circles go around there, and then it looks like I got a few lines. Okay, so I'll start off with 2 circles, starting right in the middle. There's circle number 1. There's circle number 2. And then I'm going to come over here to lines. And if you want, start using your shortcuts. I see the letter L next to line. That's the shortcut for line. So as a preview. All right, and if you want to, you can start lining things up. Like, for example, I know that it's going to line up to the middle here. So if I highlight over it, I see those 2 things connecting. So then I can start drawing from there. Okay, the other thing I might notice is I do want this to be horizontal. So if it's not horizontal, you see nothing. As soon as it goes horizontal, I see that little bar underneath. That's usually a good sign. So I'm going to click. If I want it to be vertical, I keep it vertical. If not, I would angle it accordingly. In this case, I actually do know it is going to be vertical. Okay, let's go ahead and do that as well. Right now, I see that it wants to lock to tangent to this circle. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to kind of just roughly make the shape here right now. I do know I want those to line up actually, so I can click on that. And then let's just finish it clicking over here. All right, if you want to end a tool, like right now I have that line still going right now, I hit escape to finish it up. All right, so right now, the other thing I can double check is as I drag things around, you can kind of see how it moves. All right, so I can see actually here, that last piece didn't actually connect. So one of the constraints is called coincident. So I do coincident, that means it's gonna link these together. So I'm gonna hit that point, that circle, and it's starting to look a little bit funny here. I'm gonna make that circle smaller again. Again, you can kind of click and drag things so that it generally matches the shape. All right, so right now I'm kind of there. There's also this construction line. So the way to do a construction line, I start off with line, and then there's this tool right here, construction. I can also hit the letter Q, and that's going to start in the middle here and come across. And one of the things I know is I actually want it to meet the middle. So if I hover over a line, see that when it turns into that square, then I know it's the midpoint. I'll click on that. All right, so kind of looks like the shape right now. Ours is also filled in because I want to make sure that those lines all connect. Let's come over to step 3. Okay, add constraints so that it's horizontally symmetric and all the lines are horizontal or vertical. It says also midpoint constraints act to the construction. We kind of did that when we set it up, so that should be good. Also, it says these 3 lines are equal in length. This one, this one, this one. All right, so let's come back through here. First one that I want to do is I'm going to make them all either horizontal or vertical. So horizontal, I know this line has to be horizontal. This one needs to be horizontal. The other one, this one should be 2. Looks like I already did that, so those are all good. And I'll double check the vertical ones too. These ones should be vertical, vertical, vertical. Okay. And the last one was symmetric. So if I come down here, I see this symmetric one. So I want everything symmetric to this middle line. So I'll click on the middle line first, and then I'm going to make sure this and this are symmetric. All right, the last thing I'm going to do is equal constraint. So there's equal right there. And I want this one to be equal to that, this to be equal to that. All right, so that's already starting to look pretty good for my shape. The other one I might double check is this tangent constraint. Just make sure that those are tangent. I think I did that earlier, but we'll check. So tangent means this line and this line are tangent. This line and this circle are tangent, I should say. All right, step 4. Starting to add some dimensions. So this one is 200 from the origin to this edge. So to do dimension, there's this tool here. I can also hit the letter D as a shortcut. It's going from the origin to this line. So I'll choose 2 references, and then I'm going to type in 200 and hit enter. Starting to add some sizing to my shape. And then from there, I'm seeing the gap is 35. So that's from this circle to this circle. That's going to be 35. What's next? 50 and 70. So this one right here should be 50. And the last one was from this edge to this edge is supposed to be 70. All right, and notice everything turned black. That is a good sign. If it's all black, that means everything is constrained. Okay, if it wasn't constrained, I'll do an example here. So I had that 70, I'll take that off. Okay, if it's blue, notice I can still click and drag this around. Nothing else moves, only this moves. That means I need to somehow constrain, in this case, add a dimension to this last portion. That's what that 70 was. Right, once everything is all black, that means it is fully constrained. Oh, but we have to add a couple circles, so let's do that real quick as well. The way I like to do this, I know it's supposed to lock to the middle, so I find the middle of this line and then drag it over before I make that circle. Okay, I'll do the same thing over here. Add a circle, and we just need to put some dimensions. 35 from the edge, 25 diameter. So again, I hit 35 from the middle to the edge. And then, what was it again? 25 diameter. 25 diameter. Right, so a couple ways I can do that. I can either retype that in over here, or just kind of for kicks here, I can also see, hey, I know this needs to line up to that one. They need to match. And then I can also say equal constraint, this and this need to be equal. Okay, notice how that also helped me turn everything black. All right. Next slide. It says complete the checks by hitting the check mark. Check mark. Things are looking good. Next slide, I'm going to show this area here. So I'll select that, and then I'm going to move my face on this side. And I can see the final area should be about 16,682. When I take my screenshot, make sure I take my screenshot to include my name in the top right-hand corner for submission. All right, and that should do it.